Welcome, everyone, to another episode of the Art of Slowing Down podcast. It's Annalena here, your host, and today it's me for a solo episode that came about from responding to some of the questions that have been coming up with my clients. So, especially in the Conscious Money Collective, we're having a lot of fun, talking about all things money, having a business as a conscious, introverted online entrepreneur. That's how I consider myself, also highly sensitive. And then right now, I am running the Easy Podcast Launch course. And in there's also always so much inspiration that I personally receive for some of the content that I create and share with all of you guys. And yesterday, there were just some things that came up a few days ago where I was like, I think I need to share this with everyone, no matter if you're in one of my paid containers or not, because it's a very valuable lesson, I think. So what I want to talk about is one of the major or the major one big turning point in my business as an online entrepreneur. So, I say turning point to describe the shift from kind of always feeling like I'm running behind, I haven't figured this out, what am I missing? Why are other people successful and I'm not? To actually feeling like I have a business, things are flowing more, I'm on the right path, and this is going well. So I always thought that somebody else has the magic bullet. I thought somebody else has the secret 5 steps to success, right? And in the very beginning, I fell for those type of offers very, very often. And I also felt that, other people are just so much better than I am, and they know something that I don't. At one point, I realized, and I had to slow down, obviously, for this, that I have to stop consuming so much content. Because for a very long time, I was literally enrolled in one program. Before I even finished the program, I already signed up for 3 other ones. Then there was another free challenge around the corner and another one. And it was always around the topic of, how to become a successful online entrepreneur. And I was just everywhere and nowhere, and the more information I received, then one person was saying this is how you should do this. And then another person was saying something completely different. And third person was saying something even more different. There was too many options, too many different ways. And I realized that for myself, when I took on too much information, I was disconnected from here, right? From my heart, from my inner knowing. And the other thing is that, you know, you have so many hours in a day. And if you consume a lot of content, your brain or your energy is probably not in the high peak state to actually create your own content, right? So the shift that I have, or the aha moment for myself, and this came from within myself, that it's time for me to stop being the consumer. And I literally thought about like, okay, if I go to a store, like I'm gonna pick Target, for example, in the US, right? Like, am I the person running there to get the deal and buying the stuff? Or am I becoming Target? Am I becoming the store? And I'm actually providing products and services to people that can then buy. Because, not everybody like you wants to become an online entrepreneur, right? There are people that desperately need your content. It's absolutely life-changing. I just think there's a little bit of a trend, or even a little bit of a, so to say, pandemic in the online entrepreneur space, where people that are online entrepreneurs that have these life-changing gifts, right? So maybe you are an energy healer, or similar to me, you work and teach human design or gene keys or spiritual tools, or maybe you help people with communication skills or copywriting, whatever this may be, right? So if you are in that kind of business where deep inside you have something to offer that can absolutely change people's lives and it's needed, plus it lights you up and comes easy to you, you have a damn responsibility to let people know about it. You need to talk about it. You need to post about it. You need to write about it. And obviously, there are lots of different ways of how you can do it. And that's probably a topic for another episode or another training. But you have to start creating content of some form. And there is no magic one way how to do it. You actually, I think, need to figure out your own way. And how do you do that? You try things out, something works, something else doesn't work. And I mean, I have also learned this, especially through the teachings of human design. So in human design, any three-line energy, if you have it in your profile or not, most likely you have three-line energy in some other gates in your chart, or the manifestor energy or the manifesting generator energy. That's my type in tropical human design, is very spontaneous, having lots of different things going on and trying out things here and there. It's a very experimental energy, right? And nothing is a failure with that. You try things out, you see what works for you see what doesn't work. And over time, you obviously also change, right? So when I realized this, I think I actually made this post at the time on Facebook. I may have to go back and actually find it was several years ago, where I was like, okay, I'm going to stop being the consumer. I'm stepping into the role of the business owner, and I'm now the creator here. And I put my stuff out there. Now, I also want to add on to this. This does not mean to go black or white, to go from one to the other extreme, right? It does not mean that I stopped taking in any kind of content. I still consume content myself, but it's way less. It's much more selective. So on Instagram, for example, I unfollowed a lot of coaches or online entrepreneurs that I noticed are not serving me because it wasn't giving me any value. I just noticed that any time I was, following or seeing their posts, it was this very hyped up energy. And I always felt like I'm not good enough, or I was thinking, what do they have that I don't? And that is something I really have made sure for myself, that I no longer allow that, because it's kind of hijacking my energy. And I'm not saying they're doing something wrong, but for me and Elena, it's not being of service to me. And when it's not of service to me, it's also not service to my purpose that I'm here for, what I'm here for to create for other humans, right? I always like to say, like, I'm a vessel to allow my highest self, God, source, universe, to come through me, so I can share that gift through me with the world. But when I overthink, I compare myself, I'm just listening to others too much, then I almost block the vessel, right? It's almost like you have a pipe that is kind of clogged in some way. So, and yeah, and then the content creation is just something that also is very, very important. It has to happen consistently, right? People, yeah, sometimes you may attract people into your business just because they saw you once and they're so connected with your energy. They want to buy a session, they want to sign up for a program. Can absolutely happen. But I think also the majority of people, again, if you're anything like me, I like to get to know people first a little bit. I like to get a feel for their energy. And so today, I still work with coaches. Like I said, I also still consume content, but it's a very different type of coaches and content that I consume. It's really a much more high quality and very grounded kind of energy. That's the kind of people I really like. That's also how I see myself. Obviously, I'm not a big fan at all of this like hyped up stuff for when people are talking about only money gains and this is how to make six figures and this is how I did it. That is absolutely great for you and fine. But if that's all you talk about, you're losing me. And I just know from my own story that very often leads just to other people comparing yourself to those big money goals, and they're really missing out on the essential of like realizing that, yeah, even though somebody made six figures or seven figures with their way, most likely it's not going to be your way. We are all so different. That's also what human design has taught me. It's called the signs of differentiation, right? We're all so damn different. And we can reach the same outcome, you know, and whatever, if that is even the same outcome, if that's the right explanation, I'm not sure, but we can reach the same destination, so to say. Let's say Rome. Rome is a destination. We all want to get to Rome. There are a million or a billion different ways of how we can get to Rome. If you're in Germany, you're going to take a train and then you get to Rome. I'm here in America. It's a totally different direction, right? How we actually going to get there. So you got to take action. You got to experiment. You got to try out. And especially the moments where you have some inspiration and you want to share something, and then you start to doubt yourself. I really invite you to do it anyways, because I have found for myself, even on this podcast here, sometimes the episodes where I was like, nobody's going to be interested in it. And like, I should maybe not release it. What are people going to say? They were the most successful ones. They were the most thought after pieces of content that I have created, because I just did it out of pure inspiration and love and just for the sake of sharing things, right? There was no like, oh my God, I'm going to post this to get an X amount of likes or something like this. And this is also something you're going to start to notice that this, I think it's a typical or normal human thing that we feel better when we get a lot of likes or like a lot of comments or a lot of subscribers. But I also have learned that it's the quality. You may have people that have been following you for years and they love you and they're ready to work with you and they have never actually put a like on it or had a comment on it, especially if you're more introverted like me. Not everybody is gonna do those kind of things. But again, you have to show up. You have to start being the creator and sharing things with the world. And then in conjunction with that, I think it's also obviously, I'm a big fan of coaching. Like I said, I still work with coaches myself, and I think I will always do that because there are many times where I'm stuck in fears. I don't see the magic that's right in front of me because I also can get into my head and doubt myself and all the things, right? Or there's certain strategies that I don't have the time and energy to learn. So I rather sign up for a program with an expert that has already figured and mastered that particular topic. And I like to learn from them. And the type of coaches that I personally like I said, is where it's a really down to earth, grounded, super, super authentic kind of energy where I also really feel that they genuinely care. And it's not just about the money. Well, I love money, obviously, but this is just something that I wanted to mention. So you're welcome. I really felt called to share this because, look, it's not something outside of yourself that you're missing. It's not somebody else's secret. You got to tap into your own creativity and slowing down, going out in nature, doing things that you truly love. I think is really going to help you with that, because I always have the best pieces of content, the best moments of inspiration when I actually, really slow down and put myself and my needs as a human first. So even today, I slept in a little bit. I had to do a little bit of an exercise training. I took a shower, had breakfast, and then I actually took a little nap because I have been starting to run more recently. And I didn't start to work until 2 p.m. I mean, in my mind, I was like, oh my God, I need to start working early and all these kind of things, right? And I think if I would have pushed myself too much in the morning and forced myself and not allowed myself to get the sleep that I felt I really needed to catch up a little bit, I would have probably been exhausted right now and not recorded this video or this podcast here for all of you guys, right? So there really is some magic in slowing down. You can trust me on that from my own experience. And why not give it a try? And obviously, I would love to hear your feedback, your aha moments from this episode. So please share them. I always love to hear from you guys. And I'm sending you all my love, all my blessings. And as always, I'm very excited to be with you all on the next episode.